Here we go. The motor is officially in. It's been nice all weekend. Came out Saturday morning and made these motor mounts. Can you see? Can you see? Use some plate and black iron pipe. Maybe we can see this side better. Oh, probably not. You can see the post there and the plate. This side I'm gonna have to, I still have to cut out the sway bar and brackets because the flange on the manifold's hitting. So when I put it in, I thought I might be alright because this side cleared, and then didn't realize that because the motor's offset to compensate for the steering shaft, or the steering column here and whatnot, that it shifts everything over, and I'm still going to run into the issue of the bracket smacking into, or the flange smacking into the sway bar bracket. So that will have to be addressed this week. I got the heads done and back together, torqued the rocker arms down. It's a whole strange way of rotating it 360 degrees and doing this, and this, I guess, so that the rocker arms are torqued on the base of the camshaft lobes. I still need the hardware. I'm waiting. I ordered a bunch of stuff on eBay that I'm waiting for. This intake isn't sitting down, it's just, or bolted down, it's just sitting there. I ordered a bolt kit to put this intake on. Since I bought the intake, I didn't have the hardware, and the truck hardware doesn't work, so that's coming. This, I need a T-bolt clamp, but this is such a weird freaking size, I'm gonna have to try and find one that works. Surprisingly, stuffed in the radiator here, and the Fox Mustang upper radiator hose works. Just did a little trimming, trimmed the old bulge that was on here that was ballooned out from use, trimmed that off to a nice good end, and it actually is going to work great. It doesn't kink. So this is how I'm going to route my intercooler piping. It's going to come through the factory airbox hole right here, and then cut off the tail like here or so. I'd ordered a 90-degree 3-inch to 3-inch coupler. My universal kit didn't come with one, but 90-degree comes straight down and into the intercooler right here, and it'll clear the fender. And then the coupler on this side, this is where the turbo ends up. I have to get a 3.5, or I'm going to order tonight. I didn't get this one yet. A 3.5 to 3-inch 45-degree coupler, and then I'll use a 90 out of here and come up like this, and then the 45 should be enough to get it in there. Here's the inner fender here trimmed out. I'm gonna have to trim some more. The turbo is still sitting on it, so I'm gonna have to do a little bit more trimming, but I have plenty of room to get a coupler up on here and a clamp. I'll show you the bracket I made. It's some 3-inch by 1/4-inch bar stock. Tack the flange on where I wanted it. I think this is going to work. If you guys have any suggestions for this, I'm going to run the Corvette power steering or alternator bracket, so it's going to put the alternator about here. I don't know if this is going to work where it's at. I don't have a bracket to mock it up, but I don't know where the alternator is going to fall. If this is going to be an issue with where the turbo is located. I'd like to run the turbo around this area. There's good room for it. I can shoot the oil return, actually falls right in the middle of the frame rail here between the seams. And I can just shoot the oil return straight down and then into the fitting over here. But I can't come too much further forward with it. I mean, I guess I could come forward a couple inches. It's tricky. I just don't know where this alternator is going to sit, because then I got to worry about getting the 4-inch downpipe out of the car. So, oh, I'm zooming in. I don't know if you guys have any suggestions for that. I was going to run the turbo the other direction and just dump the downpipe down and out right away, but I don't know how that's going to work. I have to look at some other setups. So that's just tacked together for mock-up. It'd be nice to do it this way. The intercooler piping routing will be real nice and easy. So still things I'm going to be ordering. Tuesday I'll be getting an MSD 6010 box. I already pulled the wiring, the Megasquirt wiring through the firewall here. That's all chilling here. Came right through the factory hole. And then these two are for injector banks 1 and 2 for keyed on power. I still have to get the sway bar off and mount the intake. I did bash the water neck over to clear. Again, I have to mess with this once I actually have the intake put on and bolted down. Oh, I guess I have to do a little bending of this crossover steam pipe, or whatever you want to call it, so it'll clear this intake a little better and sit down. So I have to do that yet. Then wire up the Megasquirt and the MSD box. I'm going to start it with probably those truck fuel rails and factory fuel injectors. I'll just use some hydraulic hose or something to hook up the factory fuel lines that are down here dangling. Just temporary. Make sure that the motor does run. It is a fresh pick apart, or whatever you want to call it. You pull it motor, 200,000 miles. So we'll see how it does. And then, what else here? I have some stuff over here I'm going to start wiring in this week. 12 volt constant fused lead that I'll put on a relay with one of these. You've seen this before. I have a power panel install video on my Volvo. These, bought some plugs today. I got some BR7EFs. These are actually really nice. And I got these out of doing some research. You can see it sits down in there nice and... Can we zoom? They sit down and they sit down nice and flush. So hopefully these will work out well with the boost. And I don't drop them. Here is the flex pipe. Gonna go in the U section down under the crank pulley. So this week I'm gonna focus on trying to get the merge and U pipe done, or crossover pipe, and hopefully this turbo position will work. If not, I'm gonna look into maybe trying to position, I'm not sure, I didn't look into this yet, if I can mount it over here on the passenger side. That would be pretty nice. And I can do something with my coolant or my upper radiator hose. That's not a big deal. So we'll see how all that works. But anyway, until maybe the end of the week, I'll have another video and show you guys what's going on.